Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The Sultanate of Oman follows the concern with the development in the governorates of Al-Mahra and Hadramaut, calling for avoiding escalation and return to the political process in Yemen. Israeli aggression continues in Gaza Strip with several Palestinians killed, while Israeli warplanes target several areas in southeastern Lebanon. And Russia and Ukraine exchange attacks as Zelensky confirms final touches on American peace plan. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. The Foreign Ministry issued a statement as follows. The Sultanate of Oman is following with concern the development in the governorates of Al-Mahra and Hadramaut, appreciating the efforts exerted by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia with the concerned parties to reach peaceful solutions to address the situation in the two governorates. The Sultanate of Oman called for avoiding escalation, return to the political process, and engage in a comprehensive political dialogue that includes all segments of the brotherly Yemeni people, to reach an understanding on what is best for the future of their country, thereby consolidating security, stability, and peace in the Republic of Yemen, and preserving the policy of good neighborliness. Regarding the developments in the Yemeni governorates of Hadramaut and Al-Mahra, several Arab and GCC countries have also called for avoiding escalation in the Republic of Yemen, prioritizing the Yemeni state's sovereignty and upholding its unity in light of the recent developments in the governorate of Hadramaut and Al-Mahra. In a statement issued by the Arab League, Secretary General Ahmed Abul Ghait as well urged the Yemeni parties to commit to de-escalation, to respect Yemen's unity, and to spare the Yemeni people further negative consequences. Reiterating the unified Arab stance on the commitment to Yemen's unity, sovereignty, security, and territorial integrity, the rejection of any interference in its internal affairs, and the continued support for the Yemeni government. Two Palestinians were killed by Israeli occupation forces in the Gaza Strip. The Israeli army claimed that two Palestinians crossed the so-called Yellow Line in southern Gaza, posing a threat, and were subsequently killed. Meanwhile, Palestinian sources reported that Israeli forces bombed Gaza City in the northern Gaza Strip, as well as the Burej and Deir al-Balah refugee camps and areas in Rafah and Khan Yunis in the southern Gaza Strip, using aircraft and artillery. The sources also added that a large-scale displacement began in the eastern part of the Tufah neighborhood, affecting hundreds of families after the occupation forces issued new eviction orders against Palestinians in a residential block in preparation for its demolition. Israeli warplanes targeted several areas in southeastern Lebanon. According to the Lebanese national news agency, Israeli warplanes carried out raids targeting the Hermel pipelines in eastern Lebanon. They also launched a series of intense airstrikes targeting Mount Safi and El Barij in southern Lebanon. The agency added that Israel has not adhered to the terms of the cessation of hostilities agreement between it and Lebanon, which came into effect at the end of last November, and that its forces continue to carry out bulldozing and demolition operations and launch almost daily raids in southern Lebanon. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said he will meet with his American counterpart, Donald Trump, indicating that many issues could be resolved before the new year. This comes as Washington intensifies its diplomatic efforts to end the Russian-Ukrainian crisis. Meanwhile, clashes continue between Russia and Ukrainian forces, with both sides exchanging fire on positions. Zelensky said that he had a phone conversation with the U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff to discuss the end to the conflict between Ukraine and Russia. The two sides discussed certain substantive details of the ongoing work. the Ukrainian president said, adding that they have good ideas that can work towards a shared outcome and that the lasting peace. Meanwhile, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said Russia is analyzing the peace proposal on Ukraine submitted by Russian special envoy following his recent meeting with U.S. officials. Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova told at a press briefing that negotiations with the United States are progressing slowly but steadily. With broad participation from governmental and private entities and charitable associations, the Oman Forum for Orphan Care was organized, highlighting the efforts made by charitable associations to empower orphans and transform them from consumers into entrepreneurs. The Omani Bahja Orphan Society, as well as Rahma Charitable Association, have a great role in supporting initiatives specialized for this category of the society. The forum aims to highlight the ways of integrating orphans in the national added value chains to make their projects part of the country's economy. The forum was sponsored by Her Highness Sayyida Hujayja bin Jafar Al Saeed. The Jebel Shams tourist zipline is one of the most prominent global adventure tourism routes in the Sultanate of Oman and requires continuous maintenance to ensure the safety of visitors and adventurers. A specialized team carried out voluntary maintenance work on the zipline with the aim of enhancing the readiness and continuity of the route in accordance with security and safety standards. Still to come in our news bulletin. Researchers are now studying the mysteries of how wild animals sleep. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Heavy storms swept through southern California on bringing torrential rains that triggered widespread flash flooding and mudslides. In San Bernardino, eyewitnesses' videos showed cars waddling in partially submerged roads and trudging through muddy roads after the floodwaters receded. The storm was expected to persist into today, posing unsafe driving conditions during what would normally be a busy holiday travel period, according to the U.S. National Weather Services. A 299-kilometer-long new high-speed railway linking Xi'an, the capital city of northwest China's Shaanxi province, and Yan'an city in the northern part of the province, which is an iconic revolutionary base of the Communist Party of China, officially went into operation today after more than 4 years of construction. The Xi'an-Yan'an high-speed railway is designed to handle speeds of up to 350 kilometers per hour and is set to reduce travel time between the two cities to just 68 minutes. During the initial operation period, the Xi'an and Yan'an high-speed railway will make 38 trips daily, serving 10 stations, including across a number of cities. It is considered the first high-speed railway leading to the old revolutionary base area of northern Shaanxi. China's first million-ton near-zero carbon steel production line began full-capacity operation in Zhangjiang City, southern China's Guangdong province, marking a major breakthrough for the country's steel industry in advancing low-carbon development. The production line employs an advanced hydrogen-based reduction and electrical smelting process, with hydrogen as the primary fuel replacing traditional coal, significantly cutting carbon emissions. It offers a novel pathway for China's steel industry to break free from its deep reliance on fossil fuels. Compared to traditional processes, this new production line reduces carbon emissions by 50% to 80%. The hydrogen-based steel-making technology revolutionizes the conventional energy-intensive and polluting smelting process, making steel production increasingly low carbon. Researchers are now studying the mysteries of how wild animals sleep. Here is a report.
Sleep is universal, even though it's actually very risky. Penguin parents face a common challenge, getting enough sleep while keeping a close eye on their newborns. They survive by taking thousands of cat naps a day, each averaging just 4 seconds long. These short micro-sleeps, as Korea Polar Research Institute biologist Wong Young-lee calls them, appear to be enough to allow penguin parents to carry out their caregiving duties for weeks within their crowded, noisy colonies. The 4-second naps add up. Each penguin sleeps for a total of 11 hours per day, as scientists found by measuring the brain activity of 14 adults over 11 days on Antarctica's King George Island. Researchers can now see when either hemisphere of the brain or both at once are asleep. Poets, sailors, and bird watchers have long wondered whether birds that fly for months at a time actually get any winks on the wing. While flying, frigate birds can sleep with one half of the brain at a time. The other half remains semi-alert so that one eye is still watching for obstacles in their flight path. This allows the birds to soar for weeks at a time without touching land or water, which would damage their delicate non-water repellent feathers. Frigate birds can do tricky maneuvers, flapping, foraging, or diving with just one half of their brain. When they dive for prey, they must be fully awake, but in flight, they have evolved to sleep with gliding and circling upward on massive drafts of warm rising air, which keep them aloft with minimal effort. Back at the nest in trees or bushes, frigate birds change up their nap routine. They are more likely to sleep with their whole brain at once and for much longer bouts. Frigate birds can fly 410 kilometers a day for more than 40 days before touching land. Other researchers found a feat that wouldn't be possible without being able to sleep on the wing. A few other animals have similar sleeping hacks. Dolphins can sleep with one half of the brain at a time while swimming. Some other birds, including swifts and albatrosses, can sleep in flight, scientists say. Nature has evolved to make shut-eye possible in even the most precarious situations.
This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Sultanate of Oman follows with concern the developments in the governorates of Al-Mahra and Hadramaut, calling for avoiding escalation and return to the political process in Yemen. Israeli aggression continues in Gaza Strip, with several Palestinians killed while Israeli warplanes target several areas in southeastern Lebanon. And Russia and Ukraine exchange attacks as Zelensky confirms final touches on American peace plan. With that, we come to the end of tonight's bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night and stay safe.